But first, we're going to jump into Ale Academy.
Yeah.
The Ale Academy at Beer 101.
That's right.
It's brought to you by our affiliate partner, the Micro-Brewed Beer of the Month Club. They drink a lot of bad beer, so you don't have to. And they're proud of their selection that they've archived online with tasting notes for every beer that they've ever featured. As we've said before, it's a great opportunity if you're new into the beer space to try out what should be good quality beers, take off some of the stress, and try out different styles, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go look at the make your own 6-pack and see 100 different beers and feel overwhelmed. Instead, let them do it for you and start learning more about the beer world and what tantalizes your taste buds.
Ooh, that's right. That's right. Make sure to click the link at the very bottom of the description to get your order in today if you would like. Yeah. Just a heads up, while the Micro-Brewed Beer of the Month Club didn't pay us to say this, we do have that affiliate link. Yep. So the more you click on it, the more you subscribe, the more we get a kickback for that, and the more awesome shows we get to keep bringing to you.
Yeah,
so
it's a great way to support us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's really a good way you can get some beer and support us on our journey of giving you awesome information.
That's right. That's right.
So Liz, how does innovation and diversification in the brewery operations during the slower months fit into the world of new beercomers?
Sure. Let me explain a little bit and talk you through how we'll go about that. It's really easy. It's inclusive, right? And educational, and it appeals to a wider audience.
Oh, what could it be? I feel like it's like I was going to say a Blue's Clues episode, but then you're just going to make a parent joke at me again.
Yeah,
what is it?
You know how she has a 1-year-old, da-da-da-da-da. All right, so what is it? Well, today we're going to talk about something really exciting and educational, and that is ordering beer flights at a brewery, especially if you're doing Damp January, right? It's a fantastic way to explore the world of beer with an adventurous mentality while being responsible and mindful.
Yeah, like I mean, a lot of flights are going to equal out to approximately a pint worth of beer. Mm-hmm. So instead of just trying 1 pint or tantalizing yourself, I don't know, I'm just like tantalizing.
It's a great word.
Teasing yourself with like 4 pints to try 4 different beers. Instead, you can damp it up and try 4 little tasters in your flight and
definitely
have a little bit less beer, but still explore what the brewery has to offer. So it's kind of nice.
Absolutely.
They're not just about tasting the different beers, though. They're an educational experience. They allow you to sample a wide variety of styles in one sitting. It's a mini tour of what the brewery is offering, and if you're struggling to find that unique experience at a brewery, this is a great way to find that experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You're not just having the same IPA, but you're having the brewery's IPAs, but you're having
that brewery's IPA.
That you can start identifying unique characteristics and qualities of beers and the different tastes. A good way to do flights, going along this line of the IPAs, is going to be if you're trying to get into IPAs, don't necessarily know the hop difference or the flavor difference. Mm-hmm. Talk with the bartender.
Yep.
Start getting a flight of maybe just all IPAs, right? And then having the notes. Usually they have access to kind of tell you which hops are in it and the different styles. So if it's a hazy, or is it a New England, or is it a juicy, or is it a West Coast? There's all these different styles, so you can start doing them side by side to really help start understanding the differences between these different beers.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it does come to flavor exploration, the flights are truly invaluable, as you've kind of just explained there to us. You get to taste and compare those different and unique flavors, like she said, side by side, but not just the flavor, the aroma, and the mouthfeel of that as well. It really helps in developing that more refined palate. Yep. That is, if that's what you're looking to do, right? Yep. Learn something new.
And yeah, since at least we brought up they're smaller, so you're not going to necessarily indulge in as much quantity, but you're getting the opportunity to try out a bunch of different things. And it's often a really good way to interact with your servers. Especially if it's not super busy, and kind of one of the things I've always thought and leaned on is if the servers are frustrated with flights, it's because they have a bad flight process. It's probably not your fault. It's probably because they need to work on optimizing their flight process. But in general, it should give this a really good opportunity for you to talk with your server, learn more about the beer, talk about different tasting notes, especially if you're sitting at the bar. And it's meant to be a very experiential thing. So,
yeah, and remember that sequence matters.
Well, yeah.
Right? So When you're ordering your flight, typically you're going to go from light to dark or from low to high ABV. And why is that? That's because it helps prevent stronger flavors or higher alcohol content from basically crushing or overpowering your palate early on in your tasting experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about a flight is a chance to try seasonal or special brews. Yep. Breweries often include these unique or experimental options in their flights, offering a taste of something new and exciting.
Yep.
And this is how they're included in your growth and understanding as you know the beer, and they're able to kind of small batch test out something that maybe that lasts a little bit longer than seasonal. And like you said, if the seasonal beer, I feel like usually they tend to be higher alcohol, but not always. But yeah, you want to start lower with a lager. If you start out with a stout, you're not gonna, or a double IPA, you're not gonna taste any of the.
You could give two shits about a lager.
Yeah, it's gonna taste like bubbly water.
Not totally true. It could be a nice palate cleanser as well, but for the 101, I think. Yeah. We'll leave that.
Yeah, you're going to miss out on the nuances. Because using it as a palate cleanser, you're not necessarily going to be looking for the nuanced flavors of different lagers. Totally. But also a great flight to do as well. Like, try out the different light ones, like different lagers and the wheats and the pilsners, and start understanding. Just because if you look across the room and they look like a lighter beer, they can have very drastically flavors changes. So
absolutely.
I think it's a great way to expand and have a totally different experience than just sitting there with a beer that maybe you're not going to get through in time, and it gets flat and warm and kind of gross by the end of it. Like, I hardly ever order pints. I'm such a slow drinker. Like, I am a flight ordering or a 10-ouncer. I just don't drink them fast enough. Yeah. But then I can have more options. I'm an options person.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I often get paralyzed by options, so I appreciate the simplicity of breaking things down on a very elementary level. Sure. It makes it easier for me to understand, obtain, and then move on, right? Make a decision. So, but to your point, it's also a great way to find maybe your new favorite brew, right? So you're having all these samples. You're like, oh my God, that's my new favorite brew. So sampling a range of beers really leads to some amazing discoveries.
Oh my
God. And these discoveries are something that you might want to enjoy in a larger or more often quantities later on. So you're going to get it more often. Or if you can handle a pint, unlike my friend here, Chelsea, you can have it in a bigger kid's glass.
Bigger kid's glass. Another fun thing about flights is the social and sharing, right? Like we already talked about, it gives you a really good opportunity to kind of break down the differences with your servers. Usually servers really, especially if you're behind the bar, usually you're really into somebody that's that curious and wanting to talk about beer. But in addition, if the flights are 5 and they've got 10 beers on tap and you're there with one other person, each of you get a flight, and all of a sudden you get to try every beer on tap, and that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're a little bit more expensive because you got to remember, you're dirtying multiple glasses. They usually have to have flight boards. It takes longer to order in. It takes more time. They are more time consuming. It's not just about having the flight process efficient. They are always more time consuming, but they don't need to be crippling. No. Some places they're crippling, which is unfortunate, but there's such a good way to experience the whole place.
100%.
And as an establishment, if you can really get behind that, you're going to draw in people that maybe aren't comfortable drinking a full pint, or maybe they do want to have more of that shared experience, or they want to be able to discuss, or it really pushes you to either make a more interactive application that goes through the different styles and you can talk to it more. So maybe your staff doesn't really set up for that. We get everyone's on a staffing shortage and stuff's hard right now. Make an app that can help go through those flavor profiles and be more interactive. Put it on the
menu, right?
Put it on the menu. Want to be a little bit unique and set yourself apart. Flights are a great way because they are pure experiential in my opinion. Yeah.
And from the newcomer beer drinking perspective, just to kind of reiterate what you said, this engaging in conversation about the different beers in your flight with friends or with the brewery staff, it really enhances your understanding and appreciation of the beer. Again, if that's what you're out for, right? It's all about that shared experience.
Yep. Talking about tasting notes.
Yes.
So as you're out there learning, it's really easy to kind of forget. That's where there's apps
when I'm drinking
Untapped that are a great way to start documenting very easily in one spot of these are the beers I like. These are the notes I like it. These are the things like, so you can kind of start making note of that. And then if you go into a new place, it gives you that experience to say like, hey, I really like these couple beers, or I like this style. And usually your servers and your bar staff is going to be educated enough to be able to kind of help you through that whole process. Or you can go old school. You can
write it down.
Write that down and have a little journal. There's lots of people that come into journal. I know we laugh about it, but it was pretty common to see people come in with a journal and they'd write their little notes. And
one of my favorite experiences, one of our regulars, she had a little notebook that she had shared with me on one of my last days.
Oh,
and
fun.
I was like, this is the coolest thing. Like, but maybe we talk about beer, right? But when you actually get to read someone's writing, right, you're like reading into their journal, reading into their thoughts. And it was a really cool. I was so happy that she had shared that with
That's
me.
super
and
cool.
Yeah, super, super duper cool.
Super cool. So yeah, I mean, like, I guess at the end of the day, like, don't be ashamed. It is not uncommon. You don't have to use the
Also, who
apps.
cares?
Yeah, exactly. Just come in, write it down, have some fun with it. Like, there'll be something fun that you read over later on.
Yeah.
And like, it's a cool experience.
Yeah. To start kind of wrapping it up for our Ale Academy listeners, remember that ordering these flights, it's more than just a way to try different beers. Again, it's about embarking on that journey through the art and science of brewing, right? Getting to know that brewery, getting to know that brewer, getting to know the staff, and to experience that unique experience at a brewery, right? So it's not just like, I'm just going to another brewery, I'm just going and having another IPA. You're going to that specific brewery and you're having their specific IPA. Like, that's their unique recipe and contribution to the community. And learning more about that really is your way to get that unique experience. Yeah. So maybe they don't have events going on that
tickle your fancy.
Yeah, thank you. Like, that's a great way to say it. But what you can do independently, right, to be autonomous in creating that unique experience as well. Get to know the brewer by tasting, the recipes that they have to offer. Get to know the staff by talking about them, about the recipes that they have to offer, right? And like, if that's something that they're looking for, it's a great way to get in with the community and create that experience.
Yeah, I mean, even with the brewery aspect, what I like about that is the names.
Oh, yes.
A lot of times, like, the beer names, like, have, like, some kind of hidden little backstory, and not every, like, brewery is great about, like, sharing what those all mean. But if you have no idea the reference, then you're kind of just missing out on potentially some, I want to call them inside joke, but they're more just, like, puns or creative names that,
they're muse, right?
Yeah. And, like, I feel like brewers love coming up with that crafty, witty name that just perfectly, like, encompasses that beer and the style. So you start learning more of those, and that in itself makes it a different experience and a lot more fun.
Absolutely. So the next time you're at your favorite brewery, a new brewery, consider getting a flight, right? Maybe you haven't tried all the seasonals, or maybe you haven't tried the menu at all, right? It's educational, it's fun, and it's a great way to appreciate the diverse world of craft beer.
Did we ever do a little video on, like, how to order a flight? I don't remember if it was
we kind of talked about it. Light to dark, low ABV to high ABV.
Yeah, okay. I remember a while ago we talked about doing, like, etiquette.
I wrote a blog.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
The etiquette of it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if you want to learn more about that, check out the blog.
It's a good one. It's called The Condiment Connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Anyway, we can drop the link in the details if you're interested in that as well. But we'll be bringing more of those onto the podcast as well, right? Because guess what? No surprise. A lot of people don't read as much as they used to once did. And getting in front of you in the video and talking to you is really the best way that we can achieve you at the rate of speed we would like to reach you. But still going to keep writing. Those are still going to be available for people that want to read. But anyway, that was a good reach back into what we'd already done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good news there.